we are just going to see the first concept in the Excel, the data type in Excel. Okay. So first understand this one, that what exactly the mean by the data type is. Okay. So the mean of the data type is when you write anything into the Excel, then your input value will be read in the two different data types. Excel only understand the two kind of a data type. One is the numeric and second is text. It means if in the Excel, if you are writing any number between 0 to 9, so that value will have the numeric data type. For example, if you are writing any employee ID or salary or any PIN code which contains purely the numeric digit, so that kind of a value will consider as a numeric data type. The text data type is if you write anything between A to Z, which is the alphabets, right? If you write anything which contains purely the alphabets, so that value will consider as a text data type. For example, suppose I written as a coachex. So this is purely text where I have used the alphabets. So this kind of a value will consider as a text data type. But what will happen in that case where I have a some input or I have a some value which contains the text and numeric both? Like for example, your PAN card number, right? So you have seen in the PAN card number, it contains the text value and numeric value both. So first of all, this kind of a value which contains the text and numeric both, this kind of a value is considered as a alphanumeric, or it is called as a alphanumeric. And alphanumeric will have always the text data type. Okay. So if any value which is written as alphanumeric which contains the text plus numeric both, so that kind of a value will have the text data type. Or any special characters. Special characters what? Like for example, space, comma, less than, greater than, does not equals to, exclamation, at the rate, hash, dollar, percentage, ampersand, all these kind of a sign, okay, are known as a special characters, and special characters also consider as a text data type. So it means if you are writing any number which contains purely the digit, that kind of a value will have the numeric data type. And if you write any value which contains alphabets, alphanumeric, or special characters, all will have the text data type. Okay. But now, what will happen if you write any date? Okay. For example, if I'm writing this date, so you can see that this date which I have written, if I ask you, can you please tell me that this date contains which kind of a data type? So it might be in the date, like you are getting this slash or you're getting this hyphen, right? As per your system format or system date format. So if you see there is a hyphen or there is a slash, so seeing this, most of the people make this comparison with a special character, and a special character treated as a text. So they say that date will consider as a text, but no, date will consider as numeric data type. Okay. If you select this date, so here you can see the date format. If I just convert this to the general format, it will give you a number. See this one. So date read in the Excel, date is read into the numeric format. Display you can change it. For example, the today's date I am writing like this. This is also the today's date, right? But if you see the format, to display format for today's date, both are different, right? Here it is showing as a 11/10/2024, and here it is reflecting as a 10th hyphen October hyphen 24, right? Both are the today's date, but if I will just convert both the dates in general format, both dates are going to show me the same numbers. Uh, why it is showing different? 10th October. Oh, sorry. October I have given a November. Sorry. Right? This one. If I just convert this into the general, both are going to give me the same number if you see. Right? This one. So date basically read into the numeric format. Display you can change it. Okay. Now the question might arise that when I'm just converting this into the general format, then this number is getting generated. How this number is getting generated? What is the calculation behind it? Why this number is getting generated? Okay. So, and what this number actually represents. So, when you go into this Excel, so Excel calendar starts from 1st January 1900. This is the first date in the Excel calendar. If I just convert this into the general format, so you can see it is representing as a 1. So when I was just converting the today's date into the general format and it is giving me this 45,606, so it is representing that from the 1st January 1900 to till today, these many number of days has been completed. Okay, so 1st January 1900 is basically the base date in the Excel, and from this the calendar gets started. So the today's date is reflecting that from the 1st January 1900 to till today, how many days has been covered. Okay, so date read into the numeric format, display you can change it. Okay, but it will consider or it will read into the numeric format. So date will have the numeric data type. Okay. So this is basically the concept of Excel data type. And also you can understand basically the concept of Excel data type. And also you can understand the data type on the basis of alignment. In Excel, in any of the cell, okay, in any of the cell, if you write any number, for example, if I write any number and press enter, it move to the right side or it align to the right side. And if you will write any text, it will align to the left side. See. So the numeric values or the numeric data type align to the right side and text data type align to the left side. So now see, if I'm writing the date here and pressing the enter, it aligned to which side? Right, right alignment, correct? And right alignment is for what? For the numeric values. So on the basis of alignment also, you can easily recognize that which kind of a data type this user's input consider. Okay, so this is the basic fundamental in the Excel, which is basically the data type. Okay, now we have the count series. Okay, the functions in the Excel. So we have these many functions in count: count, count a, count blank, count if, and count ifs. Okay, and every function has a different role. So just understand the individual functions concept, then easily you will manage the multiple functions combinations. Okay, so understand the functions here. In the Excel, before I just move to these functions, in the Excel, it might be if I'm writing something in the cell, that will have the numeric data type. or that also might be the text data type, or if I'm not writing anything, cell can be blank, right? So these three kind of activity I can perform into the Excel in any of the cell, correct? So now what my requirement is, I have just given you the data, and in each and every line items, I just need to know how many numeric values in this range. Okay, how many numeric values do we have in this range? Like A3 to D3, how many numeric values we have? A4 to D4, how many numeric values do we have? I need the output in F column. So we have the count function. So count function always count the numeric values. It means it will not consider the text values, it will not consider the blank cell. So count function will help you to count only the numeric values in a range. So here if I write equals to count, and I'm just giving this range A3 to D3, and once I press the enter, so here you can see it is giving you the output as a 3, that between A3 to D3 you have a 3 numeric values. And yes, one is 10, second is 20, and the third is 5.6, right? And now same for the next row, I just need to count. So here what I can do is the formula which I have implemented in the first cell, I can drag it to the downside, and for the rest of the cells it will calculate automatically. Okay. The functionality which you perform in Excel by holding this right bottom corner and drag it down, this activity is known as a downfill. Okay, you can do like this, or what you can do, you can select the first cell and select those many cells in which you are looking for output and press the control D. Control D is also for the downfill. Okay, so control D use for downfill, and control are used for right fill. This concept is very, very important, which we will cover in the today's session itself. This concept is the, you can say this is the backbone of the Excel. Okay, so I will cover this topic today, so don't worry about it. If you just go for this control D, which is basically as a downfill, okay, so always remember when you are filling any formula to the downside, then your column will remain the same, your row number will increase. Okay, and if you fill any formula to the right side, which is control R, so in this case the column will increase. Like here, let me show you. In the first cell, I just selected this range, which is a A3 to D3. So here, A and D are the column and the row number is the 3. When it will go into the next cell towards the down, then A and D will remain the fixed, but this 3 will convert into the 4. Let me show you. See, A4 to D4, right? When it will go into the next cell, it will become A5 to D5. See, when it will go into the next cell, A6 to D6. When it will go into the next cell, A7 to D7. So when I am dragging this formula towards the downside, then my row number will remain, my column will remain the same, my row number will keep changing. Okay. Now, if I say I need to count the text plus numeric both the values, okay, but I do not want to consider the blank cell, so in this case you have to use the count function, count a function. Most of the people also called it as a counter. So somebody speak with you that what is a counter function or what is a count a function, both are the same thing. Okay, so here this a is stands for the all means that I just want to consider the text plus numeric both. Like here between A3 to D3, I am looking for that how many numeric plus text values do we have, or how many overall values do we have excluding the blank cells. So in this case, I will use the count a function. I just given this range. So in this range, how many numeric plus text values do we have? The overall values, that is 4, right? If I press the enter, see, I am getting the result as a 4. 3 numeric values and 1 text values, right? And now if I drag it down, so here you can see it is giving me the result for each and every line items. Okay, for each and every row, you are getting this output. If I just need to know, do we have any blank cells in this range? So yes, if you need to count the number of the blank cells, so in this case, you have to use this count blank function. So you have to use this count blank. And I just selected this range A3 to D3. So in this range, I do not have any blank cell here. So it will give me the output as a 0. So I press the enter key and now you can see it is giving me the output as a 0 because in this range A3 to D3, I do not have any blank cell, right? If I drag this down, so you can see for this range, A5 to D5, it is giving me the output as a 2 because I have a 2 blank cells in this range. And then A7 to D7, I am getting the output as a 1 because I have a 1 blank cell. So this count blank function will consider only the blank cells in a range. So it will give you the count of the blank cells. Okay. Now, if I need to know how many text values do we have? So for the text values, we do not have any kind of a function like you see the count text or something. No, we do not have any function. Here, you have to put the sum mathematical logic simply. So if you see, when in this range, like example A3 to D3, when you have counted overall values, which is a text plus numeric, you can see your output was a 4 in column G. And when you have counted the numeric values, output was 3 in this column F. If you make the difference, the count A minus count result, which is 4 minus 3, that is 1. And in this range, we have a 1 text values, right? So to get the text values count, the formula is count A minus count. Simple. If I just go for this count A result in this range, it will give me the output as a 4 minus count function in the same range. Count will give you the result as a 3. So it means the 4 minus 3, which is 1. You can see, right? And in this range, we have a 1 text values, which is A, this one, right? And now if I drag it down, so I can see that in which range, how many text values do we have, correct? So this is basically the concept that how you can perform this one. Okay. So if you want to count any numeric values in a range, use the count function. If you want to count the text plus numeric both the values in a range, go for the count a function. And for the blank cells, go for the count blank. Yes, count a function will just consider as a text plus numeric both the values. Okay, sure. Okay, so now everyone just perform this at your end, please. Everyone has received this file, right? The team has already shared this file on the Telegram group and on the LMS also. Okay, from this everyone at your end. No, Kunal, there is no direct formula. When we will just move to the advanced level after the few sessions, then I will also show you the another way to count the text formula. but that advanced level I'll not discuss in today's session. Okay,
Can you go to once count A?
count it. Okay, this one.
Mm.
So for typing the formula in the Excel, you have to use the equal sign. Once you give this equal sign, then Excel formula will reflect in the drop down and you can use that one.
Yeah, what it says means like I'm just checking the form.
No, no, someone has pinged in the chat window how
Okay.
to type the formula. Yeah,
And so can you give to the count blank?
yeah, sure. For the count text, that is a very simple concept that this is a mathematical logic. Okay, that count a function is giving you what? The text plus numeric both the values, right? And count function is giving what? The numeric values, correct? So if you subtract the all the values minus numeric values, so only you will have the text values, right? So this is basically the combination of count a minus count. Okay, so everyone has done this, I think. So I'm just moving to
Sir, can you tell me the count text like
hmm, this one.
yeah, this one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we need to do the like reduction.
Correct. Is this done?
Sir, I had one doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't used Excel before, so I just wanted to know what key do we press to move to the next cell? Do we press enter or do we press tab? Because I'm pressing tab and it is going to the previous cell.
Okay, like here, after putting this formula you are talking about?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, like suppose if I have just entered this formula, okay, and to see the result of this, just press the enter key, this one.
Okay, I was pressing tab to move forward. I thought it will autofill. And
No.
I'm pressing Control D to downfill. But
So,
it is doing individual cell. We will have to use mouse for the to scroll down the entire downfill, or
correct.
is there another shortcut?
No, like here, suppose here I have just selected this first cell, okay, and like here's, let me show you. Just give me a minute, one second. Sorry. So let me show you. Like here, the first cell I have just selected. So the first cell I have just selected, and now I need to drag this formula. Okay. So from this, just hold the shift key and down arrow till the last cell. So your cells will selected and hold the control key and press the D button. Control D. So it will fill the formula to the downside.
Okay, understood.
Okay. This one. So Chahat, for the counter formula, this one. Counter. Okay, and range. That also I told you na, that here you can use the control D, or another way I have also told you that you can select the cell and from the right bottom corner, if you hover the cursor, you can see the plus sign. Then hold the left click and drag it down through the mouse like this. Okay. It's up to you. Whatever the way you want to choose, it's up to you. So it is done, everyone. Okay. Now, so as of now, I have given you the task where you have counted the numeric values, you have counted the text values, you have counted the blank cells, you have counted the text plus numeric, both the values. But what will happen in that case where I give you the certain condition or the criteria and you have to count on the basis of my given condition or given criteria? Now it depends. I can give you the single condition or I can give you the multiple condition, right? So if I'm just giving you the single condition to count anything, so in that case, you have to use this count if formula. So this count if function will help you to count anything on the basis of single condition or the single criteria. And this function contains the two parameters, the two input parameter, range and the criteria. So first understand the meaning of these input parameters, that what is a range and what is a criteria. So for example, I have given you this data set in column A to column C, that you have a product, you have a city, you have a cost, right? So that this product you have purchased from this city and you have paid this cost, okay, to purchase this product or to buy this product. Now, for example, your manager just want to know that how many brakes you have purchased, from which city you have purchased, what cost you have paid for. I'm not looking for that. I'm only looking for how many brakes you have purchased. Simple. Okay. So your manager has given you only the one condition, that I need to get the count of the brakes. Okay. So brakes will be your criteria. So whatever the things you have to count, that will be your criteria. And in which range you have to count? Between A2 to A10. So A2 to A10 will be my range. So range means where your criteria exist. So here what I will do, I will put the formula COUNTIF and it is asking me firstly the range. So I given the range A2 to A10, comma, now it is asking criteria. So I written the criteria as brakes in double quotes. Press the enter and see I am getting the result as a 4. So if you see between A2 to A10, you have a 4 brakes. This is 1, this is second, this is third one, and this is fourth one. So I have total 4 brakes between A2 to A10 range. And this is not a case sensitive. Like here, if I write the B in the lower case, it will also give me the result. This COUNTIF function is not a case sensitive. Okay, most of the time in the interview from most of the candidates, this question was asked, that COUNTIF function is a case sensitive or not. So the COUNTIF function is a not case sensitive. Okay, this one. And here just observe one thing. When I have given the criteria as a break, I have written between the double quotes. Okay, so now listen very carefully what I'm going to explain now. In the Excel, in any of the function, not only in COUNTIF, in Excel, in any of the function, if you are writing your manual text, so that manual text will be written in the double quotes. Always remember. In the Excel, if you are writing any manual text, okay, so that manual text will be written between the double quotes. Okay. Now, here, suppose if somebody asks you, instead of brakes, if they ask you, please give me the count of the tires. So what you will do? You will change the formula here, right? And instead of these brakes, you will put the what? You will put the tires. Okay. Now, you will put the tires over here. But to changing in the formula every time, that is not a good thing. So I will just make this dynamic that whatever the user will type, user will get it instantly. So like for example, I have given this G6 cell and I ask user whatever the product you want to count, please mention that product name in the column G6 and I will give you the result in the next cell here in the H6. So for this, I will go for this count tape and I said this is the range, and instead of criteria where I'm just writing it manually, I will select this cell G6. So it means I need to count between A2 to A10 what is written on the G6. So as of now on the G6, I have written the brakes, so it will give me the brakes count between A2 to A10. See, now if I change this brakes to the tires, so it is giving me the 2. If I'm just typing the window here, I'm getting the count as a 1. I have a 1 window product, right? So it is keep changing. So now this is completely the dynamic. Someone has ping. Okay, what about numerical data type? So for the numerical one, without double quotes, you can write it. Directly you can write it. Okay. The quotes will also work and without quotes will also work. No, date you have to write in the double quotes. Okay. Because in the date it comes as a slash. Okay, great. So now whenever you have to count anything on the basis of single condition or the single criteria, then use this countif function. Okay, so I'm mentioning the function here. Please perform this at your end also. This one. This one. Just perform this at your end and see you are getting the same result.
I have a question. So whatever we are writing in text, that will be in double quotes. You said date would be considered as numeric form, right?
Right.
So why we are writing date in double quotes then?
Because what happens when you just go for the date, so date will have like this, na, either hyphen or the slash like this. So
Hmm.
because of these characters only we have to write it.
Okay, special characters are involved.
Yes, because of this.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so I have mentioned the formula in front of you. So please perform this formula at your end and see the result.
Go to that count if that second one, second tab. Not that one. Window is no. In count if only. That one. So here like okay.
Yeah, I have mentioned this formula here.
Okay.
This one. Okay. So now this was the single condition. Okay. Now what will happen?